what's the deal with Jarry? Obviously, you wrote about it a little bit today as well at Daily Face-Off. Like, is he someone who's becoming available, and what is he nowadays? Because obviously he was a bad season, but also like a couple of years ago he was an NHL All-Star, and again another highly touted player coming out of junior hockey.
That contract though.
Yeah. And played with the Edmonton Oil Kings, right? And had a stellar junior career. I mean, he's very well known in the market, obviously. You know, I would wonder. I mean, first of all, the Penguins will have to eat money on this deal if it's going to happen. Now, Dubas has a few things in front of him right now. Ricard Raquel and Brian Rust, I would imagine, are Exhibit A and Exhibit B. But I think that if the Pittsburgh Penguins eat half of Jarry, does that warm Stan Bowman up to picking up the phone? Perhaps.
Yeah, because then he's down to like 2.68 or something like that, whatever.
So both goalies are basically the same.
Yeah. The only thing is if you're wrong and he doesn't bounce back, you got 2 more years of it, and you're stuck, and you got the dead money from Campbell still for 2 more years. And it's like, you need to be so certain you're right about Tristan Jarry bouncing back.
You got to be sure that one of the reasons why his numbers were so awful is because he was playing behind an awful team with a really, really tough-looking blue line. That's what you have to be certain of. Is it a gamble? Absolutely. But right now, like, Igor Shesterkin is not walking through that door, right? As much as Oilers fans want to have these Sorokin fantasies, I don't know if Sorokin's walking through that door tomorrow. So any goaltender you get is going to come with question marks. The bigger question mark is, can you afford not to take a gamble? Like we just talked about Michael DiPietro with Providence and Boston. Like, that's safe. Like, you're right, Tal. Like, $800,000, sure, no problem. Like, it's almost risk free. Jarry's more of a gamble, but aren't they in a position now where you're not going to get a sure thing bona fide? Well, first of all, how many legitimate number one with a bullet netminders are there in the NHL? Like, not every team has one. Yeah. Right. So any goaltender you do get is going to come with some question marks for sure. You just have to hope that, you know, now all of a sudden maybe you're with a healthy Matthias Ekholm and maybe Nurse playing with Wallman again, and the pair is working out. All of a sudden things look a little bit better in front of whichever goaltender you pick, Michael DiPietro, Tristan Jarry, for the purposes of this conversation. And you say, you know what, we don't need Sorokin or Shesterkin or Vasilevsky or any of the Russian Hall of Famers. We're good with what we have.
Is there a Tristan Jarry trade that makes sense? Again, if they retain half, he's down to just under 2.7, which means the Oilers would be able to afford it because Pickard's $1 million would go to the minors. They have $200,000 in cap space, and they also have 14 forwards. So you would send down Curtis Lazar, and it would be and one other. You might have run 12 forwards actually, but you could make it work.
Well, you walk me through it then. Like, what do you think they would have to give up for him? Because they like goalies who have been traded, like Nedeljkovic was a 3rd-round pick.
Yeah, they're keeping 50%.
I wouldn't give
them much. A 7th-round pick. I'm trying to think if Pittsburgh would still have to pay you at that point.
That's the thing. So Vander Kane was a 4th-round pick, no salary retained.
Good, useful player. Yeah. Like, here's the thing.
Arvidsson as well. Like, so
4th-round pick, but
if he's good, they can play.
Like, Jarry has 2. Like, if he had 1 more year left, I bet you he's already an Oiler.
Or traded at the very least.
Yeah. The term on this makes it tough because, you know, Vancouver taking Kane, Boston taking Arvidsson, the Oilers getting assets for those guys. Boston and Vancouver look at them and go, oh, they might be a top 6 winger for us, so we'll give you a 4th-round pick. And if it doesn't work, it's 1 year. Also, if a forward comes in and doesn't work out, then all you do is start playing them on your 3rd and 4th line, and they give you minutes at least. If a goalie on a bad contract comes in and it doesn't work, we saw it with Jack Campbell. Like, you're fucked. I'm sorry for swearing, but like...
Sorry for cussing.
At that point, like, if you brought in Jarry for next year at 2.8 and it doesn't work, I don't think you can keep 50% and trade him again.
No.
And if you did, that's $1.4 million in dead cap space for 2 more seasons on top of the 2.6, then 1.5 that you got to be paying Jack Campbell. And that means in 2026, 2027, you're paying $4 million for goalies who aren't in your organization. Or if you have to bury Jarry, you're paying $4.3 million for goalies who aren't in your organization. People might say double retention. No shot in hell you're getting someone to double retain unless, again, you're giving them at that point a second or a third round pick to double retain on this thing for 3 seasons. And then at that point, you're giving up a pick for a goalie who you're not sure about, and this whole calculation is thrown off. I don't see a path to Jarry making sense if they do. And Westside Shane, I love you put it. There's way too much risk. If you're wrong on Jarry, you have totally screwed yourself salary cap wise. And you've got Pickard off the team. And whether he's traded to Pittsburgh in the deal or he's put on waivers and someone claims him, maybe there's a world where you get him to the minors. But then if Pickard has to come back up, you're right back to square one with a shitload of money on your books. It's too much risk for me. Is there a world where he comes in and he plays great? Yes. Is it the most likely outcome? No. And that's why I'm not doing it.
Aren't you running enough risk just going with the same goalie tandem you have anyway?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's a much better risk to take because at least you kind of know what you're getting.
Yep.
Skinner's going to go through a bad patch and a good patch. I guess with a new goalie coach, we'll see. And Pickard's going to come in. He's going to play really well for one game and then get lit up by the Anaheim Ducks in the first period. It's inevitable that that's going to happen. With Tristan Jarry, it could be the worst trade of the offseason. It could really, really screw you up.
It feels like just making a move for the sake of making it.
Exactly. And I don't think it's worth it at all. Like the DiPietro thing, there's no risk. There is honestly zero risk in making
the only risk is you might lose Pickard on waivers.
But even then, you might, if it went that way, and that would mean it went really well with DiPietro, so it doesn't matter.
No, you got to make the read out of camp, so you're putting Pickard on waivers out of camp. But even then,
you could keep both temporarily.
You could for a little bit. That's fair.
So that's what that's what I would do anyway. I just think they can't do it. I think if they wanted to do it, they might have done it already, or just go to free agency and get one of those guys. What did LA get Anton Forsberg for?
2.5.
Exactly. He's better than Tristan Jarry.
Probably.
And he got a 2-year deal.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.